Tim Duncan never imagined basketball would define his life. Born on April 25, 1976, in the peaceful Virgin Islands town of St. Thomas. Croix, Duncan's first love wasn't hardwood courts, it was the ocean. His dream was to become an Olympic swimmer, inspired by his older sister Tricia, who represented the Virgin Islands in the 1988 Olympics. Under the Caribbean sun, young Tim trained tirelessly, gliding through water with the same calm focus he would one day show on the court. But life, unpredictable as it is, had other plans. When Hurricane Hugo devastated St. Lucia Croix in 1989, it destroyed the island's only Olympic-sized pool. Soon after, tragedy struck again. Tim's beloved mother, Ione, lost her battle with breast cancer. Before passing, she made Tim and his siblings promise to finish their education. That vow would become a guiding force in Duncan's life. Stripped of his dream and grieving, Tim, tall, lanky, and reserved, turned to basketball, a sport he barely knew. He didn't chase it for fame or escape. He played because it gave him focus, a way to honor his mother's wish, and perhaps a new purpose. By the time Duncan reached high school, coaches were intrigued by his 6'10" frame, but puzzled by his quiet demeanor. Unlike other young prospects hungry for attention, Tim shied away from the spotlight. His game was raw but disciplined, and college scouts quickly realized there was something special beneath the surface. Wake Forest University became his next chapter, not because it was a basketball powerhouse, but because it aligned with his values. Duncan stayed all 4 years, rejecting early NBA riches to fulfill his mother's wish for a degree in psychology. During his collegiate career, he dominated quietly, earning accolades like the Naismith College Player of the Year. Yet he was never swept up in the media frenzy that surrounded most future NBA stars. For Tim, it wasn't about hype. It was about doing things the right way, his way. Act 3, the making of a dynasty brick by brick. Drafted first overall by the San Antonio Spurs in 1997, Duncan entered a league obsessed with flash and flair. But while others chased headlines, Duncan chased perfection in silence. Teaming up with veteran David Robinson, Duncan helped transform the Spurs into a juggernaut. In just his second season, he led them to their first ever NBA championship in 1999, earning Finals MVP honors. This was just the beginning. Over 19 seasons, Duncan's resume grew to legendary proportions: 5-time NBA champion, 2 times league MVP, 2002, 2003, 3 times Finals MVP, 15 by All-Star, 15 times All-Defensive Team selections. But numbers alone can't capture what made Duncan extraordinary. He was the cornerstone of the Spurs culture, selfless, disciplined, and relentlessly consistent. Coach Greg Popovich often said, "If you want to know how to be a professional, just watch Tim." Duncan didn't raise his voice in locker rooms. He didn't demand trades or chase super teams. Instead, he led through action, through presence, through an unwavering commitment to excellence, every single day. Behind Duncan's quiet dominance were habits that separated him from the rest. First, relentless mastery of fundamentals. While others chased highlight reels, Duncan perfected the basics: footwork, positioning, the art of the bank shot. He elevated simplicity into an unstoppable weapon. His dedication to fundamentals became a lifelong discipline, proving that brilliance isn't always flashy, it's repeatable. 2. Emotional intelligence and composure. Duncan was famously unshakable. Whether facing elimination games or enduring hard fouls, his expression rarely changed. His ability to remain calm under pressure grounded his teammates and rattled opponents. Emotional control wasn't just a trait, it was a strategy. Third, team first mentality. Duncan's humility was legendary. He took less money to keep the Spurs competitive, embraced coaching even as a superstar, and consistently deferred credit to others. His ego never eclipsed his mission: to win together. This habit of selflessness turned the Spurs into the model franchise for nearly 2 decades. Tim Duncan's inner spark wasn't driven by a desire for validation. It was fueled by purpose, discipline, and a quiet confidence that didn't need applause. Kobe Bryant once remarked, "Tim was the hardest player I ever faced, not because he talked, but because he never needed to." That was Duncan's magic. In a world where noise often masquerades as greatness, he embodied the power of consistency, humility, and quiet resilience. He wasn't interested in being the face of the league. He was interested in being its backbone. When Duncan retired in 2016, there were no farewell tours or dramatic announcements. Just a simple goodbye, true to form. Yet his legacy echoes through every player who values discipline over drama, fundamentals over flash, and team over self. Tim Duncan didn't just redefine what it meant to be a power forward. He redefined what it meant to lead, with grace, humility, and unwavering excellence. His story is a reminder that sometimes the loudest impact comes from those who never raise their voice, but always raise the standard.